I never imagined the hands I welcomed into my home with love and trust would one day strike me across the face. I stood frozen, my cheek burning from the slap, as my daughter-in-law's voice echoed through the walls. "Give me the keys," she screamed, her eyes blazing with greed. "This house belongs to us now." "Onde des mauvais." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My knees trembled, my heart pounded, and all I could hear was the ringing in my ears. Was this really happening? The same girl I once embraced as my own daughter now stood before me like a stranger, demanding the keys to the house that held every memory of my life.
"Let me take you back to the beginning, before the day when everything shattered. My name is Margaret, and I am a widow."
My husband passed away years ago, leaving behind this house that we built with sweat, tears, and years of sacrifice.
My only son, Daniel, was my comfort, my reason to smile again.
When he told me he had fallen in love, I was overjoyed. Her name was Olivia. The first time I met her, she greeted me with such sweetness I almost cried with relief. "You must be Mrs. Harper," she said warmly, holding my hands as if I were already her mother.
"Daniel talk about you all the time.
I feel so lucky to finally meet you." Her smile was bright, her voice soft, and her manners impeccable. I thought to myself, this is it. God has sent me a daughter I never had. The wedding was beautiful, simple yet filled with love. I watched my son beam with happiness, and I prayed silently that his life with Olivia would be full of joy. When they moved into my house, I welcomed them with open arms. After all, it was big enough for us all, and I longed for the sound of family filling its rooms again. At first, everything was perfect. Olivia was polite and considerate. She helped me in the kitchen, listened to my stories, and often said, "You're like a second mother to me." I felt blessed. The house that once echoed with silence was now alive with laughter, and I thanked God every day. But slowly, little things began to change. At first, I ignored them, thinking I was imagining too much. She started spending more money than Daniel could afford, buying expensive dresses and jewelry. When I reminded her gently that saving was important, she brushed me off with a laugh. "Don't worry, Margaret," she would say casually. "Daniel will take care of it. He promised me the world." I noticed she rarely helped with household chores anymore. When I asked her to lend a hand, she would sigh dramatically and say she was too tired. Soon, I found myself doing all the cooking, cleaning, and laundry again, just as I had when I was alone. I told myself it was fine, that maybe she was adjusting to married life. But her words started to cut deeper. Sometimes she would mutter under her breath, "This old house smells like dust," or "We should be living in a modern place, not trapped in your mother's memories." Daniel never seemed to hear these remarks. He was too busy staring at her lovingly, convinced she was the best thing that had ever happened to him. I tried to ignore it, but unease grew inside me. One night, as I passed their bedroom door, I overheard Olivia whispering, "Daniel, we should sell this house and buy one in my name. It will be our fresh start, away from your mother's shadow." My breath caught in my throat. Sell the house? The only place that held the memory of my husband, my entire life's work? My hands shook as I leaned against the wall, praying Daniel would refuse. But his voice, low and hesitant, answered, "I don't know, Olivia. It's my mom's home. She loves it here." Relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. Olivia pressed on, her tone sharp. "She's old, Daniel. Don't you see? She doesn't need this place anymore. We're your future, not her. You need to choose." Those words stabbed me deeper than any knife could. I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, my heart heavy. My son, the boy I had raised with every ounce of love in my soul, was being forced to choose between me and the woman he adored. I wanted him to be happy, but at what cost? Could I really watch the home I had built with my husband's hands slip away to satisfy Olivia's greed? The next morning, I tried to put on a smile and serve breakfast as if nothing had happened. Olivia breezed into the kitchen wearing a silk robe, her hair perfectly done. She looked at the table and wrinkled her nose. "Eggs again," she muttered, pulling out her phone. "Daniel, I told you we should hire a cook. This is ridiculous." I clenched my hands to keep them from shaking. Daniel kissed her cheek and said softly, "Come on, Olivia. Mom tries her best. Don't be harsh." Her eyes flicked to me, cold and sharp, before she plastered on a fake smile. "Of course, Daniel. I didn't mean anything." But I knew she did. Every word was like a tiny crack in the fragile walls of this home. Days turned into weeks, and the tension grew heavier. Olivia stopped pretending to be sweet when Daniel wasn't around. She ordered me around as if I were her maid. Margaret, wash these clothes. Margaret, the living room needs dusting. Margaret, don't touch my things. Each time she used my name like I was a servant, my heart broke a little more. Daniel never saw it. Around him, she transformed back into the loving, gentle wife. Sometimes I wondered if he thought I was exaggerating when I tried to hint at her behavior.
One evening, he gathered the courage to speak.
Daniel, I said quietly while we sat alone in the living room. I need to tell you something about Olivia. He cut me off before I could finish. Mom, please.
Don't start.
Olivia told me you don't like her, that you've been criticizing her since the day she arrived. I don't want fights in this house. Please try to accept her. My mouth went dry. She had turned him against me before I even spoke. Tears burned in my eyes, but I swallowed them down. He was my son. I couldn't lose him too. One afternoon, the storm finally broke. Olivia came home carrying several shopping bags filled with expensive clothes. Daniel wasn't with her. She walked straight into the living room where I was sewing and dropped the bags on the couch. We need to talk, she snapped. I looked up, startled by her tone. About what? She folded her arms, her eyes glittering with arrogance. This house. It's time you handed over the keys. Daniel and I will be taking charge from now on. My needle slipped from my hand. What did you just say?
You heard me.
She stepped closer, her voice rising. I'm sick of living under your rules in your house, while you act like you're still in charge. Daniel is my husband, and this house belongs to us now.
Give me the keys.
Anger and pain rushed through me at once. This is my home, I said firmly, my voice trembling. Your husband grew up here, and this house is all I have left of his father. You have no right to demand it.
Her face twisted with rage. You selfish old woman. Don't you understand?
Daniel belongs to me now, and so does everything he owns. If you think you can control him forever, you're wrong. I stood, my legs unsteady, but my spirit fierce. I will not give you the keys.
Not today, not ever.
This home is mine, and it will remain mine until the day I die. The silence that followed was thick and suffocating. For a moment, I thought she might walk away. But then with shocking speed, her hand lashed out and struck my face.
The sound of the slap echoed through the room, louder than thunder.
My cheek stung, and my eyes blurred with tears. Give me the keys now, she screamed, her face twisted in fury. Or I swear, I'll make you regret it.
The room spun. I clutched my burning cheek.
My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst. I had never been struck in my life, not by anyone. The girl I had once welcomed as a daughter now towered over me, demanding the very soul of my existence, my home. At that moment, the front door opened, and Daniel walked in. He froze when he saw us. His eyes widened as they landed on me, standing pale and trembling, and then shifted to Olivia, who stood rigid, her chest heaving with anger. What's going on here? He demanded. Olivia's expression changed in an instant. Her eyes filled with tears, her lips trembled, and she ran to Daniel, clutching his arm.
Daniel, she sobbed. Your mother, she attacked me. She doesn't want us to live in peace.
She hit me when I asked for the house keys.
I can't live like this anymore.
Her lies pierced me deeper than her slap ever could.
My son's face darkened with confusion.
He looked between us, torn, his love for his wife clashing with the bond he shared with me. That's not true, I whispered, my voice breaking. Daniel, she's lying. She slapped me. She wants the keys to the house. Olivia gasped dramatically. How dare you accuse me? You're trying to ruin my marriage because you can't let go of your control. Daniel stepped back, his hand running through his hair. Stop it, both of you, he shouted. I don't know what to believe anymore. The silence that followed was unbearable. Tears streamed down my face. I had never felt so alone, so betrayed. My son was standing in front of me, yet I felt like I was losing him. Olivia clung to him, whispering, If you love me, you'll stand with me. Tell her to hand over the keys. Daniel's shoulders slumped. His lips parted as if he was about to speak, and for a terrifying moment, I thought he would side with her. My knees buckled, and I sank into a chair, burying my face in my hands. Then, a voice cut through the tension. It was Mrs. Thompson, our neighbor, who had stepped inside after hearing the shouting. "What on earth is happening here?" she demanded. Behind her, two other neighbors hovered, curiosity and concern etched on their faces. Olivia stiffened. "This is none of your business," she snapped. But Mrs. Thompson's sharp eyes swept over the room, landing on my tear-streaked face and the redness on my cheek. "It is my business when a woman I've known for 30 years is sitting here looking like she's been assaulted." "Olivia, what did you do?" Olivia faltered, her performance cracking under the weight of witnesses. She tried to stammer an excuse, but the neighbors had already pieced the truth together. Their murmurs filled the air, words like greedy, shameful, and ungrateful whispered loudly enough for Daniel to hear. His face turned pale. He looked at me again, really looked, and for the first time, I saw the veil lift from his eyes. He noticed the red mark on my cheek, the trembling in my hands, the devastation in my gaze. Slowly, realization dawned on him. "Olivia," he said hoarsely, "tell me you didn't do this." She tried to hold his hand, but he pulled away. "Daniel, she provoked me, she." "Enough." His voice thundered through the house. "I believed you, Olivia. I defended you. And this is what you've been doing? Turning me against my own mother? Lying to me? Hitting her?" Her tears turned to anger. "So you're choosing her over me? After everything I've given you?" Daniel's jaw tightened, and his eyes filled with a mixture of pain and fury. "What you've given me is a broken heart. Get out, Olivia." Her mouth fell open. "You can't mean that." "I said get out." His voice cracked with finality. Olivia screamed in frustration, grabbed her bags, and stormed out of the house, slamming the door so hard the walls rattled. The door slammed shut, leaving behind a suffocating silence. I sat frozen in my chair, my hands still trembling, my cheeks still burning. My heart ached, not only from the slap but from the fear that I had lost my son forever. Then slowly, Daniel turned to me. His eyes, once clouded with confusion, were now filled with tears. He dropped to his knees in front of me and took my hands gently in his. "Mom," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I am so sorry. I should have seen it. I should have listened to you. I let her poison my mind against you, and I almost believed her lies. Please forgive me." Tears blurred my vision as I cupped his face with my hands. "Daniel, you are my son. My only child. I could never stop loving you. But it broke my heart to see how she turned you against me." He pressed his forehead against my hands, sobbing softly. "I was blind, Mom. I thought she loved me. I thought she cared about us. But all she wanted was this house, the things you and Dad worked so hard for."
He promise you, he will never let anyone come between us again.
I pulled him into my arms, and we held each other, mother and son, bound by love that no lie could destroy. For the first time in months, I felt safe, truly safe. The house that had been filled with tension and fear suddenly felt like a home again. Mrs. Thompson stepped forward, her eyes soft with sympathy. "Margaret, you don't deserve any of this."
And Daniel, you must always remember, your mother is the reason you stand where you do today. Never let anyone make you forget that.
Daniel nodded firmly. "I won't."
Not ever again.
The neighbors left quietly, but their words lingered in the air like a blessing. Daniel helped me to my feet and guided me to the sofa. He sat beside me, holding my hand tightly as if afraid to let go. "From now on," he said, his voice steady with determination, "it's just you and me, Mom."
He'll protect you, care for you, and honor everything Dad and you built together.
"This house is yours, and it always will be.
No one will ever take it from you."
My heart swelled with pride and relief. For a moment, I saw the little boy he once was, the boy who held my hand when he was afraid, who smiled at me with trust in his eyes. And now, that boy had grown into a man who had finally found the strength to stand by his mother. That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about all that had happened. The pain of betrayal still lingered, but so did something stronger, hope. I realized that sometimes, life tests us with storms, but those storms reveal who truly loves us, who truly stands by us. Olivia was gone, and perhaps one day she would regret the choices she made. But I no longer feared her shadow. Because in the end, I still had the one thing that mattered most, my son's love.